everybody, welcome back to Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com and here on my YouTube channel. And this week we're going to pick up where we left off last week. We're going to continue working on our mix here. We're going to be working on keyboards today, a B3 organ and a piano. We're going to kind of dial that into our mix here and kind of keep going on with this mix. Now, if you haven't seen the first 3 or 4 parts of this series, I think 3 parts, drums, bass, guitars, go on back to the archive and check those out and let me know what you think by giving me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you really don't like it, and leave comments below. So also make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If you are new here, it really does help. I really do appreciate it. And we're going to be talking all things hybrid mixing on this channel, mixing demonstrations, gear reviews, and demos, and much, much more. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. So let's head on over to our DAW. Let's talk a little bit about this track. So for folks that have not seen the first 3 parts, I'll give you a little snippet of where we are here, let you listen to a little bit of this track. We have the drums, the bass, our acoustic and electric guitars dialed in up to this point. And right now I've pushed up the faders on our B3 and on our piano just so you could hear it in context. And then we're going to jump in and we're going to go ahead and work on these 2 keyboard parts. So here is the track so far. This is called Reaching Out for Someone. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with that track right there. So now let's pop over here into Studio One. Let's take a look at what we're going to be doing here on our keyboard. So in this session here, we have a B3 organ down here in purple, left and right. Those are coming out the 2 channels on the board down here. And then we have a piano, grand piano, left and right as well, and those are coming down here as well. So again, just like in all the rest of this mix, the only thing that we are using for compression is we're using our Plug-in Alliance SSL channel strip here, the 4000E, just to do a little light compression so we can kind of just even out the performance a little bit before we hit the EQ on the board. And then as we said earlier or in the last video, we're also doing some bus compression, which we'll talk about when we get to it in a bit. Right now our bus compressor is disabled. It's not in the circuit, so you don't need to worry. So let's start on our B3 here. Let's come up here, let's solo up some B3 action and let's see what we have going on here. So as I said, we have our channel strip here. Now we have it on the left and the right. I suppose you could have grouped these and just use one channel strip, but I just figured it's already here. Let's just do this. So again, we're going to do a pretty slow attack on this, fast release or faster release, like a medium fast, maybe like a 2-to-1 ratio. Once again, just to give it a few dB of compression because we're going to use some bus compression as well. So here we go. Okay, so that's all we're doing. We're just doing a couple of dB, 3 dB of compression on both on the left and the right. So let's go ahead and let's EQ that now. Let's bring it in the track and see what it sounds like, and I'll adjust the EQ from there. So we're just taking out a little bit, about 400, just a dB or so, take some of that little mid-range out. And then we're boosting it about, let's see, at about 9K, about 3 dB as well to get it to cut through a little bit better. So I will play it, take it out of the circuit here. And then I'll pop it in the circuit so you can hear the difference. And a little bit of panning as well. So there's our B3. Let's move over to our piano back here in the DAW. So if we solo up this piano. Okay, there's solo. Let's bring up our Plugin Alliance channel strip here. And let's do the same thing. Let's get a few dB of compression here. Again, nothing crazy. Okay, so again, about 3 dB of compression. We're using a fast attack as opposed to a slow attack that I did on the B3. Fast attack on the piano just to tame that transient a little bit. But again, we're not only doing a 2-to-1 ratio, so we're not compressing a lot. And what I'm doing throughout this whole mix, and what I typically do in a lot of the mixes, even when I was working solely in the box, is when I use channel strip compression like this, for the most part, unless it's a special circumstance, I'm only compressing a very, very small amount. I'm not over compressing anything anywhere, even on our buses. We're really just hitting things no more than 3 to 4 or 5 dB. We're going to do over compression on parallel compression later on in this series, where I'm really going to squash things to really kind of give the track more life and energy. But on all these channel strips, it's usually 2-to-1. Few dB, just to kind of tame it a little bit, just to give it a little bit of character of the actual SSL compressor, and then doing a little bit of EQ on it. So keep that in mind. We're doing what I kind of call controlled compression. We're not hitting it very hard at all. So now that I got the piano in, let's EQ that as well. So a little bit of a high pass filter. a little bit of top end EQ, somewhere around 10K or so, a couple of dB, and pull just a hair out at about 500, a little bit of mid-range. And that's it. Let's listen to it in the track. Okay, sounds really good. All right, excellent. So now let's talk about our keyboard compressor. So just like with the drum bus compressor, I'm using a West Audio piece of gear here. I'm using what's called the dione compressor, which is kind of an SSL style. And what's great about the West Audio stuff, as we talked about with the drum bus compressor a couple of videos back, is that not only is there hardware that you can go over there and you can fiddle with, but it's all digitally controlled via a plugin in the DAW, so you never have to leave the sweet spot. You can control it right from here, or you could go over to the rack, however you want to do it. Let me show you that to you now. Let's get back into Studio One. And I put it here on our input on our keyboard stem, because both our B3 and our piano are coming through this. So here is the dione all in its glory. And I'm sure you'll see somewhere on the screen, if you haven't seen it already, you'll see an image or the video camera I have on the dione itself, so you can see it controlling this. And on this keyboard bus, we're just going to, again, use 2-to-1 ratio. We're going to use a pretty slow attack. We're going to use a pretty fast release. What I love about the West Audio stuff, and the dione in particular, is they have a total harmonic distortion, 3 switches here, medium, high, and off. And we'll test that out. Usually I like to put it on high because it just adds a little bit more saturation to the circuit, which I really like. We're going to use a sidechain filter at 60 hertz to make sure nothing low on the low end is triggering the compressor, although I used a high pass filter anyhow. And then we're just going to bypass it right here. You'll see it bypass on and off. And I can hear the relays clicking on and off in the unit itself. Or so you could watch either the plugin on the screen, or you could watch the actual unit. I'll put it up somewhere on the screen, hopefully if there's room. So here we go. So let's listen to that keyboard part here. And we'll listen to it in solo so you could hear the dione. So let's... So it brings a little bit of presence. I like the THD, the harmonic distortion. Just adds a little bit of extra, like a little bit of an EQ curve, a little bit of saturation. I really enjoy that. Let's listen to it in the track, because that's all that matters, right? Here we go. Seems to add a little bit of width to those keyboards as well. So that's the dione compressor by West Audio, pretty straightforward. And now we got our keyboards blended in. So if we go back to the top of the song, and let's just make sure we have a decent blend, and then we'll end this video. Here we go. go. Keyboards, B3, piano dialed into the mix. Next time we'll take a look at the vocals. We'll start working on lead vocals and background vocals. So I want to thank you so much for joining me for this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments below. Let me know what you think so far about this kind of the first mix I'm doing here on the SSL. Again, we're learning together. I still find myself trying to remember where all the buttons and the switches are, but I'm getting better at it. I'm getting faster every time I work on it. So you get to experience the journey along with me. Let me know in the comments what other videos you'd like to see on this channel. I'm going to be hosting a whole bunch of different things. I have a bunch of ideas, but your input matters because this is first and foremost an education channel, and I want to try to educate and help anyone out there who's interested in hybrid, whether it's just getting a simple surface control with some extra hardware that maybe you patch into your digital rig, or maybe it's all the way up to a full-blown console, or anywhere in between. I'm here to try to help as many of you as I possibly can, and any advice you could give me along the way, let me know in the comment section, because I'm here to learn as much as I'm here to help educate. So until the next video, I've been Dave with Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.